start, ladies and gentlemen. So get ready. Gillyweed, FourCourtJester now in my final form. Panda Global and Team Blaze now face off on Sky Temple, Gilly. This is our first Sky Temple all weekend.
Right?
Right?
It's ridiculous.
Where have you been, Sky Temple? Where have you been?
Indeed, we missed you. You are a fantastic battleground. This actually has my favorite scenario to cast in all of the battlegrounds available. I love casting the triple temples. In a close game, I feel like that is when you really see the pressure come down to make the right team decisions, and I love seeing the triple temples. But we'll see if we'll actually get there, as we do have first pick, first ban for Panda Global. They're going to ban Zagara.
Okay. Good night, sweet broodmother. She will not be played. Blaze, very likely to be banning out the Zeratul, but we do have a little bit of a power rankings when it comes to this. If it's not Zagara, it's Zeratul. If it's not Zeratul, it's Leoric. If it's not Leoric, it's Kael'thas. If it's not Kael'thas, it's Jaina. Any of those five are pretty much our guaranteed first bans and 3 picks going into this. We'll have to see if that does maintain, because the only time that this hasn't actually stood up to the test has been Haunted Mines.
Well, so far, we're going with some standard picks and bans here, as the ban for Team Blaze will be Jaina. Now, Panda Global is going to pick up Leoric here, not going for the Zeratul, who is still on the board. Does Blaze pick him up? Do they get Zeratul and Kael'thas? That's so much damage they could get, and of course, Kael'thas seems to fit with Blaze, because, you know, fire and things.
Right, yeah, Team Blaze. I needed a lighter or something for my comparisons, but don't quite have one here. Don't play with fire that much. But as you said, I mean, like, absolutely could be a Kael'thas, could be a Zeratul. They might solidify their warriors so that Panda Global doesn't quite get their pick. And there it is, Johanna will be that return. They don't want to give a Johanna over to Panda Global for that Leoric combo, and they will actually go with the Zeratul after all. And now Panda Global, I mean, who else is left? Kael'thas is probably up there, and if we know them, it's probably going to be the support as well.
All right, so Johanna and Zeratul. Is there the potential, looking at Johanna at least, for the Azmodan?
Absolutely.
It's such a big battleground. It would be difficult to move around and really stack up. It would definitely take longer than, say, the Tomb of the Spider Queen. But you're thinking that that is a potential pickup here for Blaze?
I think it's from either side. I mean, they got Johanna on one side, Leoric on the other. There's probably going to be a Tassadar in the mix and probably a Valid there as well. Whoever picks them up, you have yourself your early game set right there. All you got to do is roam a little bit between the top and the mid, leave the bottom kind of to its own devices. And with that early game damage, if you do it well, you don't actually need to kind of put all 3 together. But Panda at this point, they will not take the Kael. They're actually going to be favoring out the Vala, and there's the Anubarak as well. This has been something that Panda's been running a lot. If we have any kind of guesswork, it's going to be a Web Blast for the Anubarak.
Yeah, and if they go Web Blast, then maybe, I guess there's not a way to force Blaze into the Malfurion, but we saw them also go up against an Uther and Web Blast him out a couple times too. And I mean, the Daihu's Anubarak play has been on point. So if that's what they want to do, if that's what they want to prioritize, they're also taking away the potential for Anubarak plus Johanna from Blaze, as a lot of teams have been liking to grab double warriors, and that is one of the combo we sometimes see. Blaze has a ban here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Panda ban Kael'thas, since they didn't pick him up. Blaze are going to ban Malfurion.
Could be a warrior ban here. I mean, Johanna's already out. Leoric and Anubarak, Panda has no more need for them whatsoever. With the Malfurion ban, though, I can't imagine Panda's going to be banning out a support, because that will leave them a little screwed when it comes to their own last few picks. So probably, if I had to guess, it would be a warrior. If it's not going to be a warrior, it could be the Azmodan right there as well. There's no range damage as of yet for Blaze, and Kael'thas, as you said, is still there. So warrior or Kael, kind of the top 2 at this round.
Well, what are Panda most concerned about? They've got the Vala, so they've got a good amount of damage. They're going to need more in some capacity. Nazebo's still on the table, so we could be looking at him getting picked up from one of these teams. They're dipping into their time pool a bit, trying to decide what will most harm Blaze, whether it is another warrior, something like, I don't know, Tyrael Arthas, looks like Sylvanas. An interesting ban there.
Well, there's no Zagara, and Nazebo is actually yet to be picked. So if it was going to be a Sylvanas, she's kind of like the lane equivalent of the Zagara, the Nazeebo at this point. Now, taking her out means that she can't split push by herself, especially if there's a lot of attention up at those temples. You can get a lot of split push value out of that Sylvanas, just like you would with the Zagara or Nazeebo, Tassadar even as well, going into it. So Team Blaze is not going to be afforded that opportunity. So with their round here, they got the Johanna, they got the Zeratul. It's probably going to be a support, and if they want that laner, I mean, Nazeebo is kind of a higher priority here, I think.
I would agree. They could potentially be looking at a Falstad, who's going to be a great one on this battleground, but Nazeebo would really be nice for those temple phases of temple fights. He can throw out a lot of his abilities from a safe distance, but no, we're looking at a double warrior on each side as Arthas is picked up for Blaze, and they're saying, yeah, okay, we don't get Sylvanas, we don't have the Black Arrow to stop structures, but we can stop them ourselves with the Summons and Dragosa.
Now, you can't stop Blaze from getting a ranged DPS at this point. There's just not enough slots in the world to kind of take them all. But Blaze is a very heavy melee team. They got the Arthas, Johanna, and Zeratul to boot as well. If this is an Abathur by the end of it, I don't really hold high regard for their chances up against Panda Global. And Panda, on the back of all this, they are going to pick up the Uther as well. They have the double tank. They got the Uther. Here's the Vala as well. So Nazeebo comes to mind. So Vanas is out. And if you don't want that laning of the Nazeebo, then Falstad, oh right, Kael'thas is actually. Nobody took Kael. I just kind of assumed he was banned at this point. I think Global has a much stronger comp coming into this.
Oh yeah, very strong. They've got a very strong front line with Leoric and Anubarak. They've got the Kael'thas and Vala, so much damage from the back line. Uther even to help out with that front line too. I'm really liking their composition, but Blaze, what could they pick up here to even it out? I still think maybe Nazeebo will be the choice here, but you're right, they're so melee heavy that I just don't know. I do like that they've got the Condemn into the Frozen Tempest from Arthas, and from there he'll be able to slow. Zeratul can pop in as he needs and start throwing out cleaves and singularity spikes. But are we going to have spiders? Are we going to have...
They have very little burst available if they do go into the Nazeebo. He will be ranged and he'll control a little bit there with that zoning, you know, with the Gargantuan, with all of his various summons. But yeah, I mean, 4 melee so far for Team Blaze. We have a Kael'thas on the back of a double tank as well as a Vala. Panda Global is really well set up for these engages.
This was a very strange draft. How it went down. Kael'thas picked so late in the game. Zagara and Jaina were banned, yeah, but then Sylvanas ban was interesting. It's just a very, very strange how it all played out, especially even with like a early Johanna pickup right away. It's much different than a lot of the drafts we've been seeing thus far, but we started seeing some more variety, some continuity here, and it will be Falstad. All right, so we're going to be going for the bird riding, or well, griffin. Is it a griffin?
It's a griffin. Yeah.
Griffin riding dwarf.
Yeah, he's a griffin rider. It goes all the way back to the Warcraft lore, before World of Warcraft kind of does doing their own special things with it. But I don't know, man. Like, Blaze is so melee heavy. This is either going to be a landslide win for Blaze, or it's going to be a landslide loss. Because this is just so, you're just betting so much on the CC train between the Johanna, between the Arthas. You gotta like buy the time for Zeratul Falstad, and it's not exactly like a crispy taco because there's nothing really super hard to kind of go with, but you can time it on the back of a Void Prison for the Hinterlands Blast. You can time it maybe on the back of a Condemn, but even then, like Panda Global has so far dealt with this kind of comp, very similar comp to what we just saw with Beyond Reason. So they know exactly how to deal with this. If we know Anubarak, it's going to be looking to get the Rhaegar out of the fight. And then if they have no healing core for this engage, the AoEs, I think, just might add up too much too fast.
Yeah, and especially once Kael'thas gets to 16, I think Blaze will be trying to look to get a lot of structural damage done before Panda can really capitalize on that Ignite for Kael'thas. So if they can focus on the fact that they do have the global presence with Falstad, they can get a lot of pushes done maybe when Panda is on the opposite side. If they pick up Cyndagosa at 10 and really just constantly put on the pressure, throw out that Cyndagosa whenever they get the chance to take out some early structures and focus on getting structures down even in between temple phases, then maybe they can get so much done that Panda just can't really ever recover once they do get Kael'thas at 16.
Well, it's going to be a heck of a fight going back and forth. Remember, there's so much on this line because at the round of 16, not only do you go home with $600 in the Blizzard Bucks, so that's $120 per player. Well, a little bit less if you have a manager, but at the same time, whoever moves on, it's going to be new blood into those finals coming up on August 22, 23. Will it be Blaze? Will it be Panda? We've been following the Pandas all day. Well, more or less all day, and they've been absolutely phenomenal. They have not dropped a match yet. We'll have to see if Sky Temple will throw them a loop, but other than that, their draft, I still think, might have a huge edge coming into this.
I would agree, and we'll see what Blaze can do to combat it as we're loading into Sky Temple. First time we're seeing Sky Temple this weekend, which is crazy to think of, but we will be moving into it. It's the tallest, biggest battleground in the pool, and that's one thing that Falstad and Team Blaze will have in their favor. We have loaded into it, and there is Falstad. We'll have Team Blaze in blue with Rafflecopter, Kawaii Rice, Psalm, Jason, and Claudius.
Haven't seen some of these names in a while, but it's good to hear their names once more. But a familiar set of names here on the right-hand side. On the red team will be the Panda Global. Their Twitter out there is definitely a very excitable one, but Barcode, Lex Uther, Evan Drinde, Zeus, and Daihu once more into the fray on our first match of Sky Temple. This is the first time we've seen this battleground today, and already looking at some of these level 1 talents, Rafflecopter is going to go into the season marksman. So the Falstad is really going to be looking for that single target shred as we go down the line.
Yeah, we'll most likely see that paired with the Giant Kill at 13 to really start taking down those warriors quickly. Meanwhile, we're going to have Felon Fusion over the Mana Addict for Kael'thas. So he's going to be looking to have more self-sustainability for heals, not going to be focusing on the mana as much. Vala is going to be going for Hungering Arrow build, so going to become more of a duelist versus something like the multi-shot build, and going to be more focused on being able to have that available, especially if, like you mentioned earlier today, Zeratol blinks in on her, she can throw that down, and it's going to be a lot of Hungering Arrow shots to Zeratol.
Yeah, Hungering Arrow is definitely a good way to go. Level 1 talent's actually not here for the Zeratol or that Rhaegar as of yet. I guess they're just trying to evaluate a little bit, or they just plain out forgot. But a lot of gathering talents now coming out. Maybe not only with the Season Marksman that we just talked about, but Regen Master on 2 of our tanks coming out. Conjurers, Reanimation on top of that as well. There are a lot of orb focuses, and another set with Regen Master on Zeratol. He's going to be looking for the regeneration, a little bit more to sustain in some of these fights.
Speaking of sustain, we do have Spirit Walker's Grace on top of Rhaegar, so that's going to reduce the mana cost for his chain heals, making sure that he can have the sustainability to heal through very potentially long tempo fights, which can happen here, especially with multiple warriors available. Now, the first set of temples have spawned. It is always top and mid for the first one, and for now they're trading them out with keeping a warrior on each side in the bottom for soak.
Rafflecopter going to be losing out a few too many hit points for comfort, but he does have the Sippy Cup ready to go. And Lex Uther's just been sitting on this point. I don't really think we're going to see too much in terms of aggression on these. We got Lex into the top, Jason there in the mid, and they should basically just go right back and forth very easily. Our bottom laners have not moved. Claudius and Zeus are still continuing to soak for the team, so a bit more of a passive early game than perhaps that we're used to. But this is the first time we've seen the Sky Temple, and you know, sometimes this is just the way it goes.
Well, now we've had both temples fall, both teams also picking up level 4, and let's check out some of those talents. Looks like our new Barak Daihu is going to be going for the same build as before with Regen Master, and then Legion of Beetles maybe going for that Urtricating Spines at level 7. And wow, Daihu and Zeus might be going after Psalm is very low, will get away, but now finding Claudius instead around these Siege Giants.
Yeah, Claudius is going to be there. It's a good spot for that Frozen Tempest, but there's the Condemn, and unfortunately, it just doesn't do any favors for that Arthas. Now, Psalm, he's going to be coming back. He's looking for Daihu. He does have that shield ready to go, and Psalm will blink away before the Burrow Charge does yield anything out of it. Do we have that Unstoppable again? We do. It will pop, but the body blocks are actually really good here from Zeus. It's still going to not be enough to take down Jason. He is really, really hard. Psalm at the back gets stunned out. One shot from death. Lex Uther riding that line between life and death, but as they go back and forth, the only takedown will actually be Claudius, and he's already back because it's 3 minutes into the game, Gilly.
The respawn timer is very short. They've got to be careful as Panda Global were on their opponent's side of the battleground. So they, realizing that the respawn timers were so short, they had to give up those Siege Giants, but they still have the potential of picking up their own. Meanwhile, they have been soaking. They're still pretty much neck and neck in terms of experience, only a slight lead in favor of Panda Global, but both look to be able to have level 7 as we are getting closer to the next temple phase.
Ooh, Claudius not doing any good at that bottom because of that Drain Hope. It really can do a good amount of damage. Sam just poking in on top of Evandrinde into the top, but we do finally have our own Stone Bros to be joining the fray into the bottom, and the timing could have been a little bit better. The temples now kind of being summoned, and Zeus, well, he actually is now losing out to Claudius because I think Claudius hit that sippy cup, but Daihu and Barcode, they're looking to do their bruisers at the same time. Some looks like they're going to beat them to it. Will Evandrinde actually leave out this top, or will the Pandas just give up this bottom and try to opt to trade out the forts?
Since they got the top temple already, it looks like they're going to be in favor of just focusing on getting that top fort the rest of the way down. They've got their bottom structures rather healthy, so they should still be able to keep that bottom fort alive, which means it would be they'd be up a fort in structures, maybe even pick up their 10. If they can get Rafflecopter here, that would be huge too. He is going to be able to get away. Sam going to come in, start to put damage on Evan, who is low on mana. He's got to be a little bit careful here as they start to push in for this fort.
Yeah, Lex Sokin, Claudius actually will win out the duel there against Zeus. Zeus now has to just basically run with the tail between his legs. Psalm, Kawhi Rice, Rafflecopter up top. That's going to be the big collapse on top of Evandrinde. No healer here, and the lightning strikes with the help of Psalm are enough to stop this aggression. Here comes Lex, but he's late to the party, and maybe it won't actually stop this aggression after all. As Lex coming in, they will finally actually take right through that fort. Level 9 advantage just very slightly being attained here by Team Blaze, but the Pandas eventually do get the fort and they do trade it out, but Zeus, bottom, has to deal with both these tanks.
Yeah, it seemed like the rotation that round of temples was a little bit better in favor of Blaze. They were able to pick up a takedown. They also traded out fort for fort because they could push in with those warriors in the bottom after taking the rest of that temple. And because it was uninhibited and because they got that takedown, they're now looking at their heroic abilities just slightly ahead of Panda Global. They're going to have Hinterland Blast, the Ancestral Heal, Void Prison, Summon Syndragosa is there, and Blessed Shield is too. So here comes Syndragosa. This fort is not attacking for 20 seconds. They're after Lex Luthor, who will cleanse himself to get away, but unfortunately for them, this fort cannot be saved.
No, with 20 seconds out, like all that ammo doesn't even matter. Zeus is going to come into it, though. He is draining hope on top of Kawhi Rise. Void Prison is out, and Psalm will finish off that fort, so mission accomplished. They got in, got the damage. They even got the strafe out of Evandrinde. That is a very big wasted cooldown right there. 50 seconds plus now that we have a little bit of a team fight window available as we have more heroics up for the side, or at least we will once Syndragosa comes back to it. Actually, you know what? I lied. That's only a Phoenix down. So either way, the strafe is out. That's a big thing going forward for Team Blizz.
Blessed Shield has gone into a condemned. Divine Shield already on our Evandrinde, that Vala. Daihu is pretty low and might get taken out. Yes, Rafflecopter flies in, secures the takedown with Hinterland Blast, and with the Lightning Rod will ensure Uther goes down too. Kael'thas hit by the Howling Blast will not survive, and a 3-0 takedown here in favor of Blaze.
And great timing on the back of it as well. Level 12 to level 10, but double temples are up. We actually are going to be able to steal off a good amount of shots, because remember, Psalm has that regen master. He might be able to just dance around the bottom. It might get rushed down, but all he has to do is just blink away over the wall, and no one will be the wiser. It doesn't actually look like he's opting to do that, and instead looking to reinforce here to this mid position. Everybody's now coming back up, and well, heroics will be favoring Pandas on this one, but still, that momentum has just been absolutely killed. 4 takedowns to 1.
Yeah, 4 takedowns to 1, and there might be more takedowns before the end of this. Evan's going to come in with the strafe, but doesn't actually take anyone out. Claudius, rather low, does not have the sippy cup, it looks like. He's going to have to rely on getting healed back up from Kawaii Rice there on Rhaegar. All the posturing around this mid-temple, but it is being held. The shots slowly being drained by the members of Panda Global, who are going to be hit by a Void Prison. Only Zeus and Evan are out of it. It looks to be okay. They're in a good positioning. Here comes Syndragosa in. Daihu is going to burrow charge into 2 of the members into a condemn, and Kawhi has to use the Ancestral Heal to bring him back up. the members of Panda Global moving off of the temple for now. We might just see them heal back up a little bit and then re-engage. Rafflecopter's hammering is down and not really doing too much there. Might be out of position as a gravity lapse into the burrow charge makes him have to leave the vicinity for now, but he's got first aid. He's going to be coming back in, and this fight still continues on. Hinterland Blast goes down. Lex Uther is going to get very low on health, and with that, they will be able to secure the last few shots from this temple.
I thought Psalm might actually go for that one. We'll get caught by the gravity lapse, but still, it was a threat. Unfortunately, I don't think he had the mana to kind of do the combo. If he could have taken down Lex, it would have actually stemmed this next wave of aggression. But overall, most of the shots going over to Panda, or going over to Blaze into that top lane. And now Jason is setting up for this bottom. We do have the level 13 talents coming in. Static Shield to be going here with our Falstad. So he is really kind of going for a bit more of a survival duel rather than a damage duel kind of spec. He does have that first aid. He has the static shield. He went with the gathering power by the end of it there as well. But we also have our burning rage, our heal build coming in, healing surge for the Rhaegar wormhole, and Arthas, not quite sure what he wants, but it's probably gonna be a spell shield by the end of it.
He's going to throw down Syndragosa once again, and Psalm is looking for Evan Drinde, and Rafflecopter is going to be flying in from the top here. He's going to have to barrel roll away for a bit. Now he's back on the chase and is able to help them secure an Anubarak takedown. Kawhi Rice might fall. Void Prison goes down, maybe to try to save him. I don't know if that's going to work. No, he will fall on top of that. So 1 for 1 so far.
Yeah, but low hit points across the board. Claudius is really the only healthy one here from the side of Blaze. Evan Drinde will get a few heals there. Barco's got to be very careful. Psalm is hunting into the back, but the multi-shot will find him. Evan Drinde, can he actually get him with the Q build? He cannot. No, he cannot. Psalm was really hoping for Rafflecopter coming in with that first aid. The blink forward. Kael'thas gets deleted, but we lose out the Zeratul. Gladius is now into the back there with Jason as well, but the drain hope from Zeus is absolutely real. And here comes Daihu as well. Going to jump right there on top of Rafflecopter. Big swing right there. And the false head is down. Unstoppable will be provoked here from Jason, but Daihu has that burrow charge coming up in just a second. Shrink Ray's out. The positioning is going to be good. The stun is there, and that will be that. The Pandas finally push back a bit and put up a few of those takedowns.
We're going to start to get some of the shots here on bottom. I think Blaze overextending just a little bit there is what ultimately allowed Panda Global to come back in that. Daihu had just respawned and they were on the Panda side of the battleground. So now they're going to be able to get the rest of the shots here. Fortunately for them, there's still, most of them were already taken out, and the gate in front of the fort is still pretty healthy, so they're only going to be able to get a tower and the gate there in the bottom. So structure still very much in favor of Team Blaze, who have 2 forts left to none remaining for Panda Global.
Yeah, and Panda is still suffering in that experience there as well. I mean, they finally put up a good front, took a whole bunch of takedowns in the rest of the shots, but unfortunately it didn't really yield them a ton. Party bush time. Claudius up and down, and the gravity lapse is going to be his bane. I hear his world was upside down, and with that, they're going to turn immediately right here to the boss. And we don't have a big response. Rafflecopter and Jason are busy. We actually have Psalm and Kawhi showing mid there as well, and they already took down the Arthas. This is a free boss going to the Pandas.
Yeah, they've even thrown Phoenix down to secure it, but nobody either realized it or did not think that they could deal with it. But they had level 16 to the 15 of Panda Global, who also had the boss on it attacking them. So that's a little bit unfortunate for Blaze, who are going to have to focus their efforts on taking out this boss before it can do too much damage to the force. And that means that Panda are going to split push. They're going after the mid fort. They really want to catch up in experience. They want to get that 16 for their Kael'thas.
Yeah, if they can double dip into these forts, that will put them onto parity, and this is a big opportunity for Blaze to try to fight while they have that upper hand. Unfortunately, because it is a split, nobody was left bottom, and the bottom will get that 16 talents coming in. Now it's Flamethrower, now it's Ignite, and all of a sudden that Kael'thas is a much bigger target because his damage output is going to go through the roof here for the Pandas. And with that also, I mean, blood for blood. We got Tumble for our Vala. She's going for the 12 arrows build.
That's gonna be awesome. She said, all right, Zeratul, you won the last duel, but you will not get the next one. And she's gonna pick that up there. They also have the Consume Vitality to help make Leoric even tankier. We've got Benediction and the Blood for Blood for Anubarak. And now 2 temples once again spawning. For now, we've got both trying to go after the top one.
Yeah, I mean, the first temples was kind of just back and forth. Wow, Som just got wrecked right there by that flame strike. But every single temple past that has really been a big contest. And going back and forth, level 16, all just to the 17, a little bit of a base advantage going for Team Blaze. But this is a very key point. If anybody loses more than 2 at this round, that could be double temples for either side. And Zeus is going to sit on that point. He's going to start this train wreck going. Which way will it fall, Gilly?
Well, for now, Som is bouncing in, trying to throw damage, what damage he can on Evan and Kael'thas. Here comes the Syndragosa and the big engage from Blaze, who are going to throw down the Void Prison. They're trying to go after Kael'thas and Evan, and they will eliminate Kael'thas from the fight. But so has Rhaegar gone down. The Hinterland Blast is not enough. They will be able to not get anyone else, and in fact, they'll lose Arthas in the process. So now, Team Blaze have lost out on the fight. They've lost the rest of this temple here. Maybe they can have Falstad fly bottom. It looks like for now, he's just going to try to push in mid as much as possible.
Bottom as well has a Stone Bro into the bag. That's going to be at least the gate, if not more. Som, is he actually out of tricks? He's going to get caught, but it doesn't look like he's going to go down for his troubles. But there goes the rest of the shots top, and now it's probably going to be a bit of a migration bottom. That will also be level advantage going the way of the Pandas. They've taken out this gate at the top. This keep is now going to be just free form. The bottom from the boss push is actually still fairly healthy, and now Jason is starting off the shots into the bottom here. There's no creep camps really to grab. Lex Luthor just thinking maybe the Stone Bros, if they're not going to go for this temple, they got to go for those siege giants, but it does look like they will try to push out and for it, and Jason realizes that it's not safe anymore.
Yeah, the worst thing is trying or getting caught in the bottom when the rest of your team is up on the top and getting split apart. So Jason willing to kind of leave the rest of those shots for now, waiting until the rest of the team can get here, but instead, they might not be looking for the rest of this temple at all. They're gonna look to put some own damage very quickly on these structures. They know that they've gotta start getting more work done. They know they're starting to lose those team fights, so they're gonna push into mid. They've taken out a tower, they've taken out a gate. Maybe they're looking to just try to get level 20 before their opponents and then get one good push to win the game.
It's going to be tough, though. The experience is basically neck and neck. The rest of those bottom shots are now done, but it's a good steal. The Bruisers are going to be turned right around here on top of the Team Pandas, so they have to deal with this. And we got a big fly going off. Rafflecopter trying to abuse his global presence in order to get as much experience as possible. And with that, and now these new Bruisers coming in, they can go get their Siege Giants here as well. Boss is still down for another 60 seconds. This could be a big swing in experience for Team Blaze, but so far they've just only really been able to keep up on parity.
It is neck in experience. Both teams working so hard to get to those storm talents before the next temple phase. Shouldn't be a 3 temple in the next one, and actually, oh, the burrow charge just late in picking up the siege giants on the side of Team Blaze, so they will go there, but they're going to take them out very quickly. They might be able to catch someone out here. Blaze is pretty split up. Falstad all the way up at the top, trying to push with those bruisers. Can they catch him here? They're on the way. Pings are going down on the battleground.
Yeah, Rafflecopter has to know that this is a bad spot to be in. He immediately just barrel rolls out and flying to safety. Again, that was a big swing, just like what I was talking about, because he had so much extra farm available to him, pretty much uncontested. We do get those level 20s first. An epic mount, insta-skilled, coming out here from Rafflecopter. He's going to try to continue abusing that global presence to his advantage. Storm Shield, rewind, Storm Shield again, and the Harden coming up for Arthas. And now they are ready to roll. They have their talent advantage. Can they engage successfully and try to seal the deal here for game number 1?
We saw them get 20 and immediately head toward the Panda global side of the battleground. They're really trying to pick up somebody here. Panda's desperately trying to find some soak somewhere just to pick up their storm talents too, so they're not caught out with them. It looks like they will be able to find one minion wave, and with that they have the storm talents of their own. Bolt of the Storm immediately for Kael'thas and Vala. Hardened Shield comes out for a new Barak, and they are on the hunt. They're moving in toward this middle temple. It's the only temple available, and Syndragosa is down.
Spectral Leech is going to be there as well. Big Void Prison in the back. Lex and Adventure and Daihu's going to be jumping into that as well. We did have that march from our Leoric, but Falstad gets insta-gibbed immediately right coming out of that VB. Now Claudius nowhere to go. The Rhaegar heal is not good, and that means he's going to be down here as well. The Pandas, from a rocky early game to a super solid late, are just going to immediately abandon the temple. They know that the death timers are on their side. The flank forward. Evan Drinde looking for that kill, and Johanna is going to drop. I think this is going to be the end of the game. And with this core push coming in, Gilly, there's nobody left to defend, and the VP's already down.
Yeah, Zeratul is the only one left. He knows it too. He's on his way back, riding his wolf into battle, but it's going to be too late. The keep has fallen. Johanna, without Indestructible, fell so fast that she had the Storm Shield. GGs are coming out. Panda Global are going to be able to secure the first of the very, very close game between these two teams. Yes, they've lost Kael'thas, but they won't lose the game. The core will fall.
And the core will fall indeed. 21-20. Came back with the kill lead at the end of it as well. But game number 1, the Pandas are able to seal the deal, and that will put them in the lead of this best of 3. Team Blaze, I gotta say, their strategy with those melees, it was kind of working for them in the earlier part of the fights, just before a lot of these talents started kicking in. But once 16 hit, it was just a whole nother ball game. That Kael'thas, Vala coming in that with the 12 arrows there as well to catch the stragglers, to do the duels. It was just a different game past 16, Gilly.
That's really the case when you see a late game composition versus one that is not going to scale as well into the late game, is you just have to get so much damage done. Most teams look to try to get a keep before the time that Kael'thas can get to 16. So you've already got an avenue open. If you still can get a team fight, maybe off of getting a level 21st, then you can push straight into core. Unfortunately for them, or for Blaze, they just weren't able to get a keep down. They pushed as hard as they could. They had the Cinder Ghost to take out structures. They were able to take them out very quickly when they could push. And excellent defenses from Panda Global made it, so it just wasn't enough.
I think the abuse on the global presence, like just using that to their advantage, just race for the 20, was a great idea from Blaze. But the end of it, they couldn't really find a pick. Psalm was really far forward, scouting, looking for a possible Void Prison so that they can take somebody down before that level 20 collapse. But unfortunately, there was just no targets, or they opted that there was no targets that they were happy with. So by the end of it, the globals come back. The Pandas are good. I got my little guy here just saying happy doodah day. And yeah, my little Chen is just beaming. He is just beaming. Has nothing to do that the smiles on his face anyways. But the Pandas are doing well. I mean, we've been following them all day. And now they are one game closer to going to the top 8 and $1,200 US to their name.